All right, good Friday afternoon. I'm 5 News Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge. We're tracking the last round of heavy rain across the River Valley. We have been dumped on, but as this round comes on through, it's picked up a little bit of steam. We even have this S-curve in the atmosphere as this thunderstorm, this severe thunderstorm, is blowing from Logan County and into Johnson County. Eventually, this is going to be into central Arkansas here very soon, but Clarksville, back south and west towards Paris and Subiaco, Scranton, we've got some big-time winds coming in. We just had the wind start to blow through parts of Scott County, Waldron. The wind is now done for us, at least the wind along the leading edge of this line. That's now pushing into parts of Yell County. Now, this storm will continue to press east by about 50 miles per hour. Let's take a closer look at this storm. Fort Smith, we're looking okay. Poto, Sallisaw, Northwest Arkansas, looking okay. Is where we have this red that we're watching this storm. Lots of lightning. Guys, it is super loud as you get towards Mount Magazine. This thing is just howling east towards Subiaco and Scranton right now. Clarksville, Lamar, Knoxville, we're getting it too. Here's a closer look. And every time you get this bowing shape, right, especially just past Gravelly, headed towards Danville, there in Yell County, this is where we have the strongest winds, but we do have some of that wind coming into Paris and Clarksville too. I want to show you the winds with this. You can see the S by the red color. That red color is showing you the winds that are now blasting off towards the east right now, away from Fort Smith. So this thing is headed towards Russellville. It's headed towards the Little Rock area. So let's go ahead and back up. This is a live look outside in Ozark. We're getting our live stream platforms ready, so you're going to see me bounce on and off for just a moment. Still trying to get this up. But you're looking at that storm from the back side now in Ozark. You're looking east. Still lots of heavy rain out there as the storm blows through. This is the last storm, and then we're finally done. Coming up tonight at 4, so just in about an hour, we're going to have all the updated rainfall totals for you guys as this storm is just about done. This whole storm system is about done for us. And then central Arkansas and eastern and southern Arkansas, so Little Rock to Hot Springs, and then south towards El Dorado, they're going to be getting some big-time storms here over the next several hours while we're going to be wrapping up. So that's some good news for us. All right, just about there. I think that's sent. All right, we're ready to go. So what you're looking live right now is right along the Arkansas River there. You see the bridge coming out of Ozark. But if I back us up, this is where we're watching that wind. I'll show you what it kind of looks like right now. Right here along the leading edge is where you have most of the winds blowing on through. I'm going to move this system just a second. All right, so it's this portion of the line. You kind of have two gusty wind threats. You've got one that's blowing through Clarksville right now, and then you've got another one just towards the south, right there over Gravelly. So I'll go ahead and pinpoint those two up for you guys. Lots of lightning with this one too. This one's a loud one, and this one's also dropping a lot of big-time rainfall for us across parts of the River Valley. The River Valley, we've already picked up 3 to 5 inches. There's been some folks that have said they've gotten 6 inches in their rain gauge. So we've had a lot, and this one is adding another inch or two as it moves off towards the east. Now, right now, with some of these S-curves, you've got to watch out for rotation. And it looks like at this time, this is mainly straight line winds. Once this thing starts to get probably some more rotation, it'll be far from our area. It'll probably be closer to like Washita, and then headed east towards Conway. We probably could get some of these rotations here later. And then Little Rock is also under a threat. We've got a flash flood warning that's in effect right now from Johnson County into Logan County, and then parts of Scott County too. But then that starts to back off once you head into Fort Smith. Fort Smith, we still have some high water, but it's not nearly as bad as it was as the rainfall is finally starting to wrap up. All right, the final system's ready. This is a loop of the radar itself. Still watching this S-curve. The top of the S, you got some wind, closer to 50 to 5 miles per hour. It's this bow that's coming into portions of Yell County that have a stronger wind gust with them. There towards Gravelly, Danville, Russellville, Dover, we're getting some of those winds coming in. Clarksville right now, it looks like the wind is just about done for us. Here's a closer look at that wind. The red is that leading edge of those winds. So coming into Spadra and then Knoxville, Lamar, and then you'll cross the county line into Pope County and London and Russellville. Dardanelle, Delaware, you'll be next. So this thing's barreling. I'll get the latest update. You can see it flash up too. Also could have some quarter-sized hail with this one. But the wind is the primary threat at this time. Looks like gravelly to Odin, and it's just past the Ratcliffe areas where this storm has blown on through. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch this to our hail tracker. It looks like, all right, you guys see how you got this gray color that's popping up on the map? Might be more easily seen if I put a color behind. All right, now you can probably see the gray a little bit better. We've had some pea-sized hail blow throughout the county, across Scott County, mainly staying below severe limits. It looks like, you can even see it, how it bows just a little bit. You're getting a mix of some pea-sized hail and just some massive raindrops as this thing pushes into Pope and Yell counties. So this is getting out of Scott County, but still in parts of Logan County. It looks like we're trying to pick up some hail. You can see Mount Magazine on the map itself. See how it kind of comes out of the map just with the terrain. We've got some pea-sized hail coming over Mount Magazine, and this thing is still moving east at, got to check the speed exactly. It's blowing winds of 60 miles per hour, but the storm itself is also moving about 60 miles per hour. So this thing's moving quick. This thing will be out of our area here shortly. Let's time this thing out. I'll get the latest update. 60 mile per hour winds. Let's go ahead and take the first section. You see the times there. Dover, 306, Russellville, 312. Atkins 325. So we're really getting into Pope County now, and Morrilton 345. But we wanted to hop on and let you know in Clarksville that the gust of wind is now passed on through. You guys already know it. You probably already heard it. We already had the heavy rain. We're still getting the heavy rain. We'll get the heavy rain for at least another 45 minutes. So that's why we have the flash flood warning in effect. The heavy rain in Paris is just starting to wrap up. It's still pouring out there like cats and dogs, but you go just west of town, there towards Ratcliffe and Branch, the rain is already a little bit lighter. You still have some lightning, though. You see the lightning strikes in the green. That's that rolling thunder that you get after the storm has really kind of packed its punch, but it's not completely done yet. And then towards Scott County, you have some of those yellows. It's a good moderate rain coming in from Waldron all the way east to Harvey and Parks and Anderson, Sugar Grove, Blue Mountain Magazine as you get more towards Logan County. We've got more of that light to moderate rain. The heaviest rain is now pushed out of Scott County. It's still coming down pretty heavily, but not as heavy as it was just about 20 minutes ago. Eastern Logan County has some of the heaviest rain too. So it looks like from Paris and Driggs, we're starting to wrap up. But then you go east to Subiaco, and you hit Midway, then New Blaine, and you get towards Delaware once you get closer to the Arkansas River there along the shores. And that's where that heavy rain pocket is. So going up and down Highway 22 going out of Paris. So Paris to Subiaco, Midway, about New Blaine's here. You got Delaware about here. And then everything crosses north. Scranton, you go on 109, Morrison Bluff. Once you get out of Logan County, you cross the river, head into the Clarksville area. We're getting that heavy rain too. Let's see. Let's zoom in just a little bit more, and I want to take a closer look at that wind. Trying to still look for any kind of notches. We're going to cover this storm, by the way, until this storm passes the county line. And what we're watching is the leading edge of the wind, because once that's the severe part of the storm. Once that leaves the area, then we'll be talking about some of the rain, and we've got to get ready for our 5 News at 4, where we'll talk about how much rainfall that we have picked up. But it looks like the edge of the wind right now is coming out of Clarksville, so it's just past the airport. Airport's on the east side of town. And then you head just east on 64. Once you get towards the Dollar General into Lamar, that's where we're watching some of the strongest winds right now. And this thing will continue to press east about 60 miles per hour. So we're watching a pretty good storm for us this afternoon. Let's take you back outside. Let's see if we can see a little bit more of the edge as the rain's starting to clear up a little bit. You're seeing a little bit more structure of the clouds. Remember, just a second ago, it was raining right over us. It's still raining in Ozark, but you can see a little bit more of the back edge of the storm as it presses east. So it's kind of looking like it's pressing into the screen itself there along the Arkansas River. Let's track those winds coming out of Clarksville, though. So kind of did a short timing. Knoxville here at any moment. The wind's going to be in our neighborhood. Shoal Creek, they're at 309. Dover, 318. Delaware, 319. And Russellville, about 326. So this is a good pocket of wind. Now, if we go south, there's kind of two different pockets. When you get these S-curves, oh, there we go. When you get these S-curves, you've got two pockets. You've got this bright red right here, and then you get another bright red off towards the south. This one has a little bit of a bowing feature as that rain-cooled air just kind of really pushes out the storm on the leading edge. But right from Danville south to Plainview and Rover, this is out of 5 country, but that's where we're watching that wind. Let's see. Take a closer look at that hail again. I'm going to take off the tracks. We're just going to do the current hail. All right, so you can see how it loops. See that gray? Start over again. So you see it moving across the map, and it looks like in the latest scan it's now pretty much dissipated. So it looks like the hail threat's mainly over. It looked like we had some hail, at least according to the radar. We had some hail from Paris right over Mount Magazine south to Waveland. All right, new update from the National Weather Service. This severe thunderstorm warning has continued to been trimmed. So this only includes eastern Logan County and then most of Johnson County, but this is probably going to be trimmed again as Johnson County continues to get just the heavy rain now. Once again, we're still tracking the wind. So that wind, let's do a loop. Okay. So see how it pushes eastbound over time. So wind coming right into Clarksville and Shoal Creek, Lamar, Knoxville, Morrison Bluff. They're right along, Lake Dardanelle. You're along the Arkansas River is where we're getting some of that wind pushing on through. Then wind extends north into the rest of Johnson County, so it's not just Clarksville. You head north towards Hagerville, and you head north to the Strawberry Bluffs. You go on, 31 or 21 north. You're headed past Lake Ludwig, and you head towards the mountains. We got some wind there, although it's not as severe as it was as it kind of was blowing through. We're talking about 40 to 50 miles per hour. What I'm doing is I'm estimating some of those wind speeds on this tablet. Yeah, getting winds about 50 miles per hour, 45 to 50. Now, the thing is, these storms are a little bit elevated, so sometimes the gust of wind doesn't necessarily reach the ground at all locations of this line, but it's hard to know exactly which portions it is reaching. So they go ahead and have to issue that full severe thunderstorm warning. But just know if you live in southeastern Johnson County, Piney Bay campgrounds, you head south towards Lamar and Knoxville, there could be up to 60 mile per hour winds trying to blow on through. It looks like the wind's a lot weaker pushing across Logan County. You can see you've got the inset of the S. Usually at this point where you got this kind of curve, you've got weaker winds. It's when the curve's bowing out, kind of see the two pockets, that's where you have the stronger winds. So we've got them in Yell County. We've got some trying to cross into Pope County and struggling just a little bit more. So wide view. So let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen, and then we'll dive back into that storm. And so let's talk about what's going to take place the rest of the day. So took the clouds off. What you're looking at is this nasty line that continues to strengthen as it moves into central and eastern Arkansas. We haven't had as much rain from Conway to Little Rock to Hot Springs, south to Pine Bluff, and Jonesboro even, east to Memphis. The atmosphere is a little bit more ready to go. In fact, we've had some sunshine across parts of southern Arkansas. And so once this final round of rain that's been hitting us, gosh, we needed the rain to stop. We need a couple days to dry out. But once this thing pushes more east, it's going to be able to get even stronger. We've got a tornado warning for it looks like over the Texarkana area. But these lines of storms will continue to press to the east. It looks like it's just north of Texarkana, Ashdown, Saratoga, Washington. So they're along 59 and headed kind of close to I-30 towards Hope and Wallaceburg and Prescott. We'll watch that. But we don't have, sometimes when you get these S shapes, you can see it right with just the red. Just look at the red, you can see the S shape right at the last scan. Sometimes you can get some rotation, but right now it looks like it's just wind. You got to watch every scan that comes in to see if that develops over time. But for now, it's just been a lot of wind trying to push on through and a lot of lightning. This thing is loud as it's just barreled across Logan County and Johnson County, Scott County included too. Looks like they're trimming the tornado warning there just north of Texarkana, headed towards Hope. So as this line presses east, it's going to become much more gnarly. And then you see all these little cells trying to pop up. None of them have really gotten going just yet. But throughout the afternoon, one or two of these, maybe even three of them, could actually grow up, and they would turn into supercells if they are able to just break on through. There's a lid on the atmosphere. We had it yesterday in the River Valley. That's why we didn't get much in the River Valley yesterday. We got it all in northwest Arkansas, and now things are kind of flipped for this afternoon and this morning. The River Valley is the ones that got hit the hardest. But sometimes if you got the lid on there, it's almost like you put a lid on the stove, and if there's a little crack, you can be able to get some of the steam out. The same thing when it goes in the atmosphere. If one of these storms can try to pop, it will become a supercell. So, but we're not going to be watching those supercells in western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. We're looking good. In fact, it looks like most of the rain's wrapping up in northwest Arkansas. The problem is the clouds are still low, and we may still have some mist for a while after the heavy rain leaves. So we're still getting some patchy mist over Fort Smith, Van Buren. It's just a nasty day out there across the River Valley. The heavy rain, though, is wrapping up. But the heavy rain, we still have it over Clarksville. Let's take a closer look there towards Paris. It looks like the heaviest rain's just now left Paris, is really hitting us along 22. Once you get past about Midway and Sand Ridge, there towards Shoal Creek and Delaware was where we have the heavier rain. Scranton, Prairie View, you go to Morrison Bluff, then cross the bridge over into Johnson County. Very heavy rain for us. Let's see. It looks like, check this out. So this, probably shouldn't use red. Change it to black. All right, you guys can probably see this better. Just the structure of the thunderstorm. With the south wind higher up in the atmosphere, you're blowing some of these rain shafts into the northern part of the storm, and so that's going to help them break it up just a little bit, especially this back end. It looks like we're starting to reform there towards the east. It's probably going to be this part of the cell that starts to strengthen and then barrel east, but we have noticing a lot of weakening there in Johnson County. Let's take a closer look at those winds. A little bit weaker too. And when I'm looking off camera as well, we're closer to 50 to 55. So, and not all of those are reaching the ground, but that's here in eastern Johnson County. Headed towards that campground. Let's see, Minnow Creek area. You're there, so anywhere from 64 right along the main drag of Omar, north on 123 as you head to Hagerville, Holman. That's where we got some of this the wind coming in, but it has weakened quite a bit. So that's some good news. I'm probably going to notice a strengthening of the winds in the cell that we have here. You don't see it much on radar yet, but this is probably going to start to fill in a little bit more. These storms will continue to press east. It looks like Scott County. We still have some moderate, sometimes heavy rain there in the southeastern portion of the county, Parks, Little Texas. Once you cross into Yell County, it's a lot heavier. Danville, Rover, Ola, north into Pope County, Russellville, Dover, Atkins. But this thing is weakening quite a bit, and it looks like the hail threat is gone as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ready for our newscast at 4 o'clock. Remember today, of course, on CBS, we have March Madness going on. So we're going to have a show at 4 to 4:30, like normal. But then our 5 o'clock newscast will go from 5 all the way until 6 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll switch it over CBS, and we'll have March Madness ready to go for you guys. Good news, we don't have to worry about the towers or transmitters. Don't have to worry about power going out tonight to watch the games. It's because the rain's pushing out, and now it's going to head into central Arkansas. Big-time thunderstorms for Little Rock and Conway, south into Pine Bluff, and you head into Hot Springs, El Dorado, Searcy, even north and east to Jonesboro. They might not be as strong in Jonesboro, but they could still be pretty gnarly there east and then into Memphis. If you got friends and family who live outside of 5 Country and you head deeper into Arkansas, maybe give them a heads up. Make sure you're thinking about them, as storms are likely to intensify quite a bit later this afternoon and evening. While the River Valley, we're wrapping up. The winds have weakened. There's still a severe thunderstorm warning, but they won't head and they're probably just going to wait until it leaves Johnson County instead of just going ahead and expiring it. A little bit easier to do that. So we'll just let it kind of pass on through. But it has weakened a little bit. It's still pretty strong off towards the south, but that's headed deep into Yale County and eventually east to Conway and Little Rock. So we'll be tracking the storms as they press across the state. But here at home, we're looking a lot better. Still watch out for mist for next several hours. We need some days to dry out. Looks like we'll get at least a few as we go into the weekend and the start of next week. Now, coming up at 4, we'll have those latest rainfall totals. Make sure you keep it here, but local, and as always, we'll keep you advised.